how you can realistically save $40,000 every single year just by teleworking. All right, so let's get into it. All right, number one, it may seem like the most obvious reason, but that's simply transportation costs. I mean, and when we talk about transportation costs, we're not just simply talking about, the gas to get back and forth to work, but we also talking about, the wear and tear on your car, talking about the money that's put into having that car payment, to have that car, and even the opportunity cost that you have from not being able to, work during that time. Opportunity cost is basically, the money that's lost when you are doing one task over another, essentially. So on average, in the United States, the average person, commutes up to like 25 minutes a day. And, for areas like New York, that can get up to well over 30 minutes. And so that's an hour plus every single day that's just lost sitting in your car, sitting on the bus, sitting on the train to get to that destination to be able to make that money. And studies show that on average, that could cost you up to $8,500 every single year. So for me personally, when I worked at the shipyard, I would have to drive 20 plus miles to work, just to be able to get to my job. And then I would sit in traffic for well over an hour on the way home through the tunnel and whatnot. So I personally know the struggles of having to sit in traffic. And, now that I have a hybrid schedule where I only have to go in the office 2 days a week, I see the benefits. So one thing I plan on taking advantage of in the next coming year is the ability to live in a lower cost of living area. It's no secret that the best jobs, the best opportunities are in the city hubs, the metros, areas and whatnot. So you'll be incentivized to, be around these locations, be closer to the cities, be as, close to these jobs as possible so that, you can save on number one, transportation costs, and then also be able to get in on those opportunities. But according to realtor.com, like the cost between living in these high cost of living cities versus living directly outside of them in the suburbs can be a 25% difference in housing costs. So, that can add up substantially over the course of a year. Take example, say if you're living in the city and you're renting for, let's say, $2,000, and then you could just simply, move into a house outside into the suburbs for a house around $1,500. Better living conditions, better space, more comfortability out there. And that could save you over, $6,000 right there, just being able to move out of the city. And that'll be afforded to you if you didn't have to live as close to be able to work in these jobs. Work in a hybrid schedule or a completely remote schedule, you can be outside of these cities and, make the same amount as if you were living in these cities, but in a cheaper area. Okay, so way number 3 is something that we all can probably relate to. And this is, something I'm definitely guilty of. I don't know how many times you've been at work or, you were going to work and you told yourself, hey, I'm gonna pack me a lunch, or, I'm gonna make me a sandwich so that, I won't have to go out to eat, for lunch. Yeah, and either one you forget or it just simply takes, your coworker to be like, hey man, trying to hit Panda Express, for you to be like, all right, $13 right there, $15 right there down the drain. But on the other hand, when you're working from home, you have the ability to, just stroll into the kitchen and, just grab some leftovers out to be able to make you a quick meal without having to go out and, spend these high prices, eating fast food, going out to a restaurant, eating in your local cafeteria or any of that. So that's a clear and obvious benefit to your pockets. And on average, that could save you up to around $900 a year. And that's being conservative, That's only if you ate out, say, like 2 days a week. If you ate out every day you went to work, that cost could even skyrocket even higher. But we'll leave it at $900 for now. Okay, number 3 is an expense that personally hit my pockets extremely hard, for a long period of my life. I would wake up early in the morning. I would either, catch the bus or I would drive to, work, and I would not hesitate. I promise you, I would not hesitate to stop at the closest 7-Eleven, and grab me an extra large coffee. And for good measure, I would double back, for lunch and get that second coffee just so I can make it throughout the day. Little did I know that that coffee, ran me, well over $300 extra every year. And that expense will probably be a lot higher if I was to, be a Starbucks connoisseur or a barista connoisseur, and dabbled in that. But, luckily I was just a 7-Eleven head. When you're able to telework, you can simply use your Keurig and, spend, well under 50 cents for a cup of coffee. And, whether that's one or two, you're saving a lot of money there. People typically, make their coffee in the morning and take that to work with them, and get that 50-cent cup out of that. But so if we only focus on that midday coffee and we take the average cost of, a coffee in the United States, which is around $5, that cost savings can come up to well over $1,100, every single year. So boom. So number 5, where it's a small thing, it'll apply to a vast majority of us, whether you're a lawyer working for a Fortune 500 company or IT specialist, and that's clothing expenses. I know me personally, I have a closet full of polos where I would literally only have those, for work, a specific, set of jeans that I will only wear for work. And while I would never consider myself the most, luxurious shopper or the most, frequent, shopper of clothes, even myself, I would find myself spending well over $100 to $200 in any given year just for work clothes. If you don't have to, going to work as often, you don't need as much clothes. Now, I'm not saying you should be at home working in like your SpongeBob underwear or anything, but you can be a lot more relaxed, while being in the comforts of your home, that you don't have to, have the fanciest of work clothes. So boom. And last but certainly not least, and this goes for all the parents out there, shout out to us, you can save a tremendous, I cannot stress this enough, a tremendous amount of money on childcare costs. In America, the cost of childcare is extremely expensive. So the average monthly childcare cost is up to well over $1,200 a month. So not even getting into the cost of a nanny, which is over $3,000 a month. Just on childcare alone, you can save over $24,000 in any given year by not having to pay this expense. This, of course, depends on how demanding your job is, whether you'll be able to manage the workload that your job demands and be able to parent throughout the day. But for everyone who does have, a quote unquote boring job or a laid back job, you should definitely take advantage of this opportunity. Because to be honest, childcare costs is getting extremely ridiculous nowadays. So if it can be avoided, I would avoid it. And there you go, 6 expenses that could save you well over $40,000 in any given year if you apply it, all of them. So I challenge all of y'all to just look at your finances, look at your expenses, and just see how much you can save by applying some of these tips here and there to, see what you can get out of it. So, boom. Yo, what's up, blessed people? I just want to thank everybody, for staying this long in the video. And I just wanted to let you know that if you were feeling this, you were vibing with it, I'll be putting a lot more content like this out into the world. This channel will be covering everything financial from a lifestyle perspective, which means I'll be imparting knowledge, on things that I've experienced and I've, done wrong or done right throughout my, time, as a, functioning adult. And I want to impart those onto y'all so that you can either, benefit from the things I benefited from or, benefit from the things that, I had to go through that set me back so that you won't have to go through it as well. So if you're interested in that, just follow along the journey, and there'll be a lot more good stuff out there for you, to digest. So thank you again. Peace.